Hey guys, welcome to LoveCast, the Boys Love Podcast reviews. Today we're going to be reviewing Cherry Magic. I'm your host Alexa, and with me are my co-hosts Pixie and Coco.
Hi there.
Hello. So Cherry Magic is a short Japanese drama. It is about an office worker named Adachi who, when he turns 30 years old, develops a special ability to be able to read the minds of people he is touching because he's still a virgin on his 30th birthday. And through that, he learns that one of his coworkers, the most popular worker in his office, has had a crush on him for many years, and it's all about them getting closer to each other and Adachi navigating having these abilities while understanding his feelings and everything like that. So right now, for where you can watch it officially, it is on WeTV. I believe you might have to have access to a VPN if you want to watch it on WeTV. But if you don't want to watch it on WeTV, it is also on Crunchyroll now. So you can watch it on Crunchyroll, and I believe all the episodes should be available for free.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone, I know we all love Cherry Magic here. We have mentioned that before, I'm pretty positive, at least in our best of 2020. So let's go into some general thoughts about the show.
When I first heard about it, I was really skeptical because the title is just like, okay, like the whole title, if you translate it from Japanese, is like 30 years of virginity can make you a wizard.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I hadn't, like, this is based off manga, and I haven't read the manga. So, and it's been impossible to get it now after the show aired. So I didn't really know what to expect. And there's not a lot of Japanese BL out there, at least not available for us internationally. So I was really skeptical, but I fell in love with it right away. I think they did a good job pacing it. And even though it's not like the most overly touchy show because they're Japanese, like showing affection in Japan in the open isn't normal. Still, their chemistry makes it obvious that there's affection there, right? Without the touching and yeah. So I think it's really cute and just yeah.
It's the type of show that, like, once you start it, you will just want to spend the whole afternoon binging the entire thing in one sitting. I think when I started it, there was already like 8 episodes out because I was kind of the same. I was pretty hesitant about like the concept, and I haven't watched too many Japanese BLs because, you know, not a lot of them are super accessible out on legal streaming services and stuff like that. But everyone in the Discord server was always raving about it. So like I had a Sunday afternoon at one point, and I was just like, fine, I'm just gonna sit down and I'm gonna try an episode or two. And I watched all of the episodes that were available in one afternoon. Like I couldn't stop. I think I really resonate with characters like Adachi. I really always feel for the very quiet, introverted, anxious characters. And so to take a character like that and give him the ability that Adachi got, it was really interesting to see, and I really enjoyed how both him and Kurosawa were written. They're both very, very well written characters, and it's just like a nice, happy, feel good drama. Like even the angsty aspects don't last long, and you know, it just makes you feel warm inside.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's like it was just like something I'd never really, like a story I'd never really seen done before. So I think that keeps it refreshing. And it's the same with, like, I wasn't really planning on watching it, and then everyone was going on and on about it in Discord. So I was like, I'll watch it. But I haven't finished it. Don't kill me.
That does not surprise me with it.
That's so you.
Not because I didn't like it, I loved it, but I think I just got distracted at the time.
Yeah.
Which doesn't take a lot for me. But it's one of those dramas, like you said, it's so fluffy and soft and there's so much chemistry that you don't need them to be like obvious with their attraction towards each other. It's just like so under light, like under the surface, you can see it. Yeah, I love stuff like that.
It's one of the ones where like even them holding hands for the first time will like make you
I'm like
squeal.
squealing.
Yeah. And it's really cute to listen to their inner thoughts, like hearing Kurama's inner thoughts about
oh my god, he's so
Adachi.
wholesome.
Yeah, it is so cute. Like it could have been like, I know if it was me, it wouldn't have been so subdued inner thoughts, right? So he's such a sweet, sweet guy. Oh. No, it's a really wholesome story, and I really love the side couple as well.
Yes, and the cat.
Yeah, they're great, like comic relief to everything.
Yeah.
Like I know some people said they didn't like Suke because he's a little over the top, but I think that lends to the charm of him, right?
Yeah, definitely.
You have to get used to him, but like once you do like realize and know what to expect from him, like you can really enjoy him a lot more. Like him panicking just became hilarious after one point. After a certain point, it cracks you up.
And just like exaggerate movements, and I still remember him running away with the bags in his hands, and just the run he does is just
that iconic run.
And the over top way he just throws himself to the ground to say sorry.
His inner monologue is hilarious too. Even like the way he's like thinking in his mind is like so dramatic and over the top. It's hilarious.
Yeah, it is. So like in general, I think the show they did everything right for the story they had.
I agree.
The thing that surprised me, because I expected the manga to be explicit because it's about a virgin, but it's not at all. So yeah, it's really wholesome.
Yeah, I feel like when you hear the title, like you expect the story to be about like him on a mission to like lose his virginity or something like that, but that's not what it's about, and it was like really refreshing.
It was.
So on our scale of 1 to 5, what would you guys rate Cherry Magic?
5, absolutely.
Yeah, 5.
Yeah, I would say that's pretty universal. Definitely a must watch. It's so short and sweet. Like there's no reason to not just like sit down and knock it out and fall in love with it.
Yeah. But the thing is, if you don't like fluff, then you shouldn't watch it.
That's true. It's pure fluff. So if you want like a lot of drama, this is not the show to watch for that.
Yeah, I mean, some people just want like the really sexual tension and just, everything like that. And especially when the show has a title with virginity and plays on like sex, you can get confused, but it's not explicit. It's not gonna be anything like that. You need to just like, if you love a worship Tharn type and just want to watch shows like that, you're not gonna like this show.
I was thinking exactly the same thing. I was like, and Tharn type, whereas like it's not for you.
Yeah,
it's the opposite end of that spectrum.
Fluff. Yeah, you need to appreciate fluff to appreciate this, but when you do, it's really, really great story.
Yeah, it's just very sweet and wholesome.
And the actors are great.
Yeah.
Can I just one thing before we go? Like Eiji, the guy who plays Adachi, he also has a show. It's not a BL, but you need to watch it. It's called Ne Sensei Shiranai no. Basically, teacher, didn't you know? And he is so gorgeous in that show. And you can really see his duality, because as Adachi, he's really closed in on himself and shy and all that, but he is not in in that other show.
I just pulled it up on my. It looks. I just
Mm-hmm.
read the synopsis on my job list, and I was like, "This sounds like
Mm-hmm.
something up my alley."
Oh, I love that. And he does such a good job. And you see how, because it's so different parts to act in,
Hmm.
and he really nails it in both parts, right? And it really impressed me at his like acting skills.
Yeah. In that same vein, the actor who plays Kurosawa, Kaita,
Mm.
I watched him in Alice in Borderland not too long ago,
Believe
and it's the same thing. Like you would not think that it's the same
it's
actor
the same
with
guy.
how different but incredible both performances are. Even the visual transformation from like the pretty typical like fluffy like longer brown hair to like this like shorter blonde hair, and he's like got scruff and is smoking cigarettes, and I'm like, Kurosawa, is that you? Like
Yeah.
it was like a very like very jarring, but he was also incredible in that performance as well.
Yeah, I actually didn't notice it was him before
Yeah,
someone mentioned it.
you would not
That's
realize it at
insane.
all.
Hmm.
But yeah, so that is our spoiler-free portion of the review. If you haven't watched Cherry Magic and you don't want to be spoiled, go click out of the video now and go watch the show, and then you'll be able to find our full review over on our Patreon for our Lovecaster tier and above. So that's our second tier and up. And let us know in the comments what shows you want to see us review in the future. And from here, we're going to go into our more detailed review.
Yay.
Okay, so, oh my god, there's so much to unpack with the show, I feel like.
Hmm.
I don't even know where to start.
Yeah, right.
I think one of my favorite bits is when they're on the bus. It's so
Oh,
cute.
yeah, and he has the poem for Adachi in his head.
Yes, it's so, and
Hmm.
Itachi's little smile is so cute. I love it so much. That's like one of the bits that like sticks out for me. Like so when I think about the Cherry Magic, I just see Itachi's smile.
Yeah, and then, can't not talk about, I guess you wouldn't have seen this, Coco, but like the spoiler alert, the proposal at the end where he got them like the matching fountain
I
pens.
saw that. I did. I saw a clip.
Okay. He got them like the matching fountain pens instead
I
of rings
know.
because he knew that Adachi would like feel too embarrassed to wear a ring in public and stuff like that. And that whole scene was
Hmm.
just so, I love that whole sequence of like Adachi like realizing that he wants to go after Kurosawa and like taking the initiative to like go and find him and make up with him, and he's like biking to try and get to him at the location they're supposed to meet at. I love when like the timid character kind of like gets that boost that like pushes them to go after the person they want to be with, and then like they actually do it. I always love scenes like that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And can we talk for a second about Fujisaki, the girl?
Yes, I love her so much. She was
Yes,
so
this is
cute.
like a woman in BL done right,
Yeah, like she
right?
wasn't in it too much, but her role was so well done.
It's really supportive without being creepy, right?
Yeah. I saw a lot of people like calling her a Fujoshi, and I don't
Mm,
necessarily agree with that because I don't really
yeah.
think, I mean, she was aware of Kurosawa and Adachi having feelings for each other, but she wasn't really
Hmm.
like shipping them per se. She was just giving them
No.
relationship advice from the
Support.
place of a friend and supporting
Yeah.
them. So I
Hmm.
wouldn't have necessarily called her a Fujishi, but I saw some people making that argument, and I was like, that she was like an example of a well-written Fujishi, and I was like, I wouldn't even call her a Fujishi because she wasn't like a
Yeah, no.
shipper, like she was just their friend and wanted to support
Hmm.
them and help them get together.
Yeah. I think it kind of speaks wrongly of her to call her a Fujoshi
Yeah.
because she really just shows that women can be in BL without being obnoxious and
Yeah.
invasive over other people's privacy, because all the Fujoshis you see in shows are like giggling, taking pictures behind their back, and just stalking
Following
them
people
everywhere.
around. Yeah.
Yeah, and like for example, like with oxygen, I that was
Oh,
really disgusting.
Oh, yeah, I
Like
forgot
doing
about
all
her.
the pictures and oh my God. I mean, they try to make portray them as supporters, but it just comes off as really
It's
obnoxious.
creepy. Like it comes off as creepy more than anything,
Yeah.
and that's not the vibe at all you get from Fujisaki.
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. And she's really supportive and just nice.
I also appreciated that they kind of had her saying that she like doesn't need to be or want to be in a relationship.
Yes.
And like the whole thing was like she was being pressured by like feeling like she had to come home with a boyfriend whenever she went home,
Mm.
but like she didn't want that. And like, they had
Mm-hmm.
the whole aspect where Adachi offered to be her fake boyfriend for a weekend and like she didn't take him up on it. And it was
Mm.
nice like the way she stood her ground on her feelings about relationships and not feeling like she had to bring a fake boyfriend home to like please her family and stuff like that. Like her role was so small, but I feel like it was a really, really impactful role, especially when we don't see that many women in BL.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I like that they didn't cop out and just made her a lesbian
Yeah,
because they could have easily done that and just said like, okay, everyone needs to be in a relationship, like
yeah,
that's the normal. But some people just like being alone
yeah.
Yep.
and just wants to be alone, and maybe that will change in the future, but they shouldn't, even if this is a romance, you shouldn't like have all the characters be pressured to be in a relationship because relationships are a happiness.
Hmm.
It shows that she is alone, but she's happy and content where she is right now.
Exactly. She didn't feel like she was
Mm.
missing something because she wasn't in a relationship at the end of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's a strong, independent woman. She doesn't need a man.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. We are here for it.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I feel like we have to talk a little bit about Suge and Minato. I feel like a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people were very pleasantly surprised with the role reversal. Like,
Yeah.
obvious, I mean, it kind of plays into, people having expectations about who takes what role in the relationship based on people's
Mm-hmm.
looks and stature. But, having Minato be the one who kind of took the initiative and being the go-getter in the relationship. And I mean, if you think about it, it makes sense because of how anxious and indecisive Suge could be. So, like, for Minato just
Mm-hmm.
to be like, no, we're doing this, like, let's go. Like, I think it was unexpected, but also, like, very pleasantly unexpected.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was the last scene where Suke loses his virginity powers.
Yeah,
I was really shocked that like they aren't showing anything, but they obviously,
they implied it. Yeah.
yeah, it's not even you couldn't even call it implying it because it's so obvious. Like
Yeah.
because the voiceover comes and he's like Suge is like that was the day I lost my
Oh,
wizard
yeah.
powers. So, I was surprised, but I really like that they did it like that, right? That the story kind of tied everything up by that way.
I think they did with those two couples a very good job of showing the different pacings in relationships and how like how long you're together doesn't need to be an indicator of anything. And because like
Hmm.
Sugi Minato, like he lost his virginity basically on the first day they became a
Yeah.
couple. Meanwhile, with Kurosawa and Adachi, they took things a lot slower. And, by the end of
Yeah.
the show, we didn't really. Did they imply that he had lost it? I feel like there might have been a
Yeah, they
line.
did. They
So,
did
like,
imply it.
but we know that it took them a lot longer, even though they got together
Mm.
before Manate and Suge did. So, like, I liked how
Yeah.
it was kind of like there's no certain expectation about how long you need to be with someone or how a relationship, what steps you need to take. Like, it's all about how you feel with that person and how that person feels with you and your comfort and stuff like that.
Yeah, because that doesn't really happen in BLs a lot. That the main
Yeah.
couple is like the one that's the last one to
Yeah.
get together.
Right.
Usually it's the main couple gets together and they use the side couples stories to kind of keep people interested after
Mhm.
like the climax of the main couple. So it was interesting to see them like sort of mix it up and do a different format for it.
Yeah, I agree. It was overall just really, really well done and so
Mhm.
nice and refreshing to watch. Like, I was in a pretty big BL slump in 2020. Like, even with all the time we have with quarantine, I feel like I couldn't watch and finish anything. But that was like one of the first shows I started watching that like really pushed me out of that slump and like got me excited about watching BL
Mhm.
again. Anyone have any final thoughts before we wrap up?
No, I think I said everything
Yeah.
I've been thinking about. Yeah.
All right, well, then that's our review of Cherry Magic. If you're listening on Patreon and you're at this point, definitely let us know in the comments what you think about the show, what you liked, what you didn't like, everything like that. And be sure to let us know what kind of reviews you want to see from us in the future if you have any suggestions. And we will see you guys next week. Bye.